Swadika, very good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. I'm Nan Bunag.
I'm Tulip Nasampop Lao.
We'll begin tonight with the latest on the COVID-19 situation first, and Thailand recorded up to 5,000 new COVID-19 cases today, and that also includes 19 more deaths and 3,101 new recoveries as well. The new cases recorded today raised the total infections in the latest outbreak to 130,929. And 937 have died so far since the third wave began in April. And on the brighter side, around 80,000 people have already recovered from the disease. As for the patients that are still receiving treatment in hospitals, currently there are 50,000 of them, and among them are 1,230 severe cases, including 390 on ventilators. The CCSA assistant spokesperson, Dr. Apisamai Sirangsan, said that Bangkok alone recorded 1,356 new infections. 827 were found during active screening in communities and markets, and 529 among those under observation and treatment. She also said that 2 new clusters were also discovered at a construction workers' housing facility in Bang Na district and in a community in Sathorn district. However, the COVID-19 situation in several other clusters have improved, while there are 15 districts in Bangkok that remain free from cluster infections. She also said that 13 new cases were found during proactive screening today in Klong Ton Sai and Bang Lampu Lang in Klong San district.
Okay, so if we talk about Bangkok, the BMA or the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, they believe that there's a lot of situation in many clusters that under control. So today they announced that they are easing restriction of some kind of business. So at least I think a lot of people has been looking forward to this. Public parks will be open starting tomorrow. So the Communicable Disease Committee of Bangkok has decided to ease restrictions on certain businesses and public venues where no COVID-19 cluster infections have been detected. According to the committee, which met this morning at the City Hall, the following will be allowed to open as normal from June 1st, which is tomorrow. The National Museum, local and other museums, learning centers, science parks, scientific and cultural centers, historical or archaeological sites, and art galleries. However, large group visits are not permissible. And other businesses that reopen tomorrow, tattoo parlors, nail salons, under the tight safety measures, they may face closures for up to 14 days if a COVID-19 infection is found in any of them. Beauty and weight control clinics, health venues such as spas, massage, health or beauty massage, traditional Thai massage, and foot massage. But they still not allow sauna, herbal sauna, steam sauna, and facial massage. Public parks, botanical gardens, flower gardens will reopen. Drinking is allowed, but not allowed eating food in these places. Other businesses, such as public swimming pools, amulet trading centers, pubs, and bars remain closed until June 14th at least. So I believe before June 14th, there will be another big meeting to decide what to do with the rest of the businesses and also for the schools, because for the schools, they said that it will be reopened on 14th of June, but that decision probably will be revisited again just right before 14th of June.
Exactly, and there's also another business in question. Although the eateries are allowed to reopen, but based on the recent announcement, if we go back on May 15th, they allowed only 25% capacity, and many of the operators are requesting to increase that capacity to 50 or 75%. Operators of eateries in the 4 red zone provinces, including Bangkok, will propose the CCSA to further ease dine-in restrictions by allowing them occupy 50 to 75% of their seating capacity from the current 25% limit. Thaniwan Kunmongkol, president of the Thai Restaurants Association, told Thai PBS that since the current restrictions are due to expire today, the association will discuss its proposal with the health department. She revealed that there are more than 20,000 F&B outlets, which include restaurants, food shops, and street stalls, which have passed the Thai Stop COVID Plus standard. She also asked the government to allocate a special quota of COVID-19 vaccines for their employees as a means to contain the spread of the disease and to arrange for soft loans or other financial support for the troubled sector, claiming that most commercial banks are reluctant to grant loans to them because of their unstable revenues. One restaurant owner in Samsenai area of Bangkok told Thai PBS that even though the CCSA has eased dine-in restrictions, his income for dine-in services is insufficient to survive, forcing him to turn to take-home and delivery services. He pointed out that group customers such as families have stopped visiting the restaurant because they cannot sit together, as the restriction allows only one customer at a table, which normally seats 4. Due to the seating restriction and the poor business, he said that he had to suspend half of his staff to save costs. And previously, on May 15th, the CCSA eased restrictions by allowing eateries in 4 red zone provinces to seat dine-in customers of up to 25% of their seating capacity and to stay open until 9 p.m., while take-home and delivery services can operate up to 11 p.m.
Now talking about the government, today is the first day that the parliament open for business again, and there is a very strict COVID-19 measures going on at the parliament as 2022 budget debate kicks off today. With the ongoing COVID-19 surge in Bangkok and its suburbs, unusually tight safety measures have been imposed at the Thai parliament as a 3-day House debate on the government's 3.1 trillion baht budget bill for next fiscal year begins today, 2022 fiscal year. So everyone, including cabinet ministers, member of parliaments, reporters, and officials are being required to complete entry forms either in advance through an app or at the entrance to the parliament, causing a bottleneck at the entry point. Each member of parliament is allowed to be accompanied by just one aide. Usually, if you watch a news report from the parliament in Thai TV, you will see that some of the member of parliament will have like 3 or 4 people following them. But today they allow only one. At the order of Mrs. Ponpit Petcharan, Secretary General of the House of Representatives, all reporters and photographers are barred from using the mezzanine floor, where they usually gather to monitor the parliamentary proceedings, reportedly to ease congestion and to prevent droplets from their conversations falling onto the members of parliament below. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha arrives at the parliament before the debate without talking to reporters, apart from exclaiming, "I am ready," when asked about the debate. House Speaker Chun Lik-pai said a special podium with a glass partition has been installed from member parliaments. The Prime Minister or ministers who want to speak during the debate without wearing a face mask, otherwise they must wear a face mask at all times. Mr. Chun said that the podium will be disinfected every time after a person has finished speaking, adding that the measure is necessary because anyone can spread the disease, which is true, especially via airborne droplets emitted while speaking. Adding that he warned members of parliament not to sit close together, but some of them ignore his warning because they want to be seen on TV. The House Speaker said that the Disease Control Department recommends that voting on the budget bill at the end of 3-day debate should not take more than 15 minutes to avoid the risk of many people converging in the chamber. However, he expressed optimism that the situation may change for the better during the second reading of the bill. Opposition Chief Whip and Pheu Thai Member of Parliament, Mahasarakham Province, Sutin Klangsang, said that this morning that opposition member parliaments will try to point out the weaknesses in the government's effort to address economic problems and its various other failures, even though the budget bill will sail through its first reading. He said that Pheu Thai Party has been allocated 760 minutes for its member parliaments to speak during the debate, and each member parliament will be given only 10 minutes, but that can be extended to 15 to 30 minutes on certain key issues. The proposed 2020 annual budget has been set at 3.1 trillion baht, almost 186 billion baht less than last year. The largest single allocation will be a central budget worth 571 billion baht, or 18.4% of overall spending, which is slightly less than last year at the 18.7%. The Education Ministry is expected to continue to receive the largest budget allocation of all the ministries at 332.39 billion baht, while defense spending is expected to be cut by 11.24 billion baht to 203.28 billion baht. So hopefully these 3 days we'll get to see a very detailed report, because as a taxpayer, we would want to know what's going on in there when they discuss the budget allocation.
Exactly. And now let's move on to business. It is undeniable that the COVID-19 pandemic has changed the global economic landscape. And for startup companies, usually founded by one or more entrepreneurs, to develop a unique product or service and to market it, the COVID-19 impact has varied depending on the industry in which they operate. While many have been hit hard, others are seeing surges. In this first episode about startups, our correspondent Kun Hatthai Teshakip Thiranan talked to the CEO and co-founder of KnockDoor, which offers a variety of services at home.
Getting services such as cleaning and plumbing done at home by people referred by word of mouth or through an ad with phone numbers attached have long been the norm. Now, however, thanks to the internet, you can book such services with just a click. KnockDoor is among a few startups in Thailand providing such services. Founded in 2017, it primarily provides venue cleaning services starting at 450 baht. Other services include ironing, air conditioner repair, plumbing, electrical repairs, bed and sofa vacuuming, massages, security guards, and yacht rentals. There are currently more than 700 service providers available on the platform, and the website is in Thai and English. According to co-founder Wichai Ramarung, who is also a software developer, the idea was to provide services which we all need in daily life, and the company kicked it all off with cleaning services as it had the resources and cleaning was the easiest to operate.
Since the business of startup is getting boom in Thailand and Asia and elsewhere in the world, so we foresee that the necessity of having technology and innovation incorporated into business is a must, and it is going to help to improve the job process.
Like many other businesses, the COVID-19 pandemic has significantly reduced KnockDoor's business from an average of 50 bookings a day, mostly for house cleaning, down to 5 to 10 bookings a day. The second wave of infections last December and this current wave have had a much more severe impact than last year, he said. Things have started to pick up with an average of 30 bookings a day last year.
Since COVID pandemic happened in Thailand, our service got a lot of effect. Our service, we have to send our maids and our technician into our customer house. So it became that our customer don't feel comfortable to have stranger in their house, getting close, getting near to their family. So they're afraid of COVID. So many customer has canceled the job, postponed the job, and new order also become less.
Mr. Vishai said the government has not provided sufficient support for Thai startups, both in response to the pandemic's hardships and in general to push them to expand to the regional level or become a unicorn, a term used for those reaching $1 billion in value. He is, however, optimistic that once more vaccines are administered and restrictions are lifted, his business will not only recover but also strengthen.
Yeah, we are very much waiting for the time that the COVID vaccine be used into our country. We have a strong belief that the business that we are doing it will be here for long, since customer still need maids, still need technicians, still need someone to provide service in their house.
Hatay Deshikit Tiranan reported for Thai PBS World.
I think now there's a time that a lot of people have been looking forward to is the interview with the Miss Thailand Universe, Amanda Obdam. Earlier, we had a chance to talk to her. It was a good 15-20 minutes talk, and we get a lot going in that conversation. It's about politics, it's about lockdown, COVID-19, and her experience at the Miss Universe stage. Now let's take a look.
And joining us right now is Amanda Obdam. สวัสดีค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
So you must be really busy during your quarantine.
When I came back and I knew I had to do a 2 weeks quarantine, I thought, I'm gonna have so much time to do nothing. But once I finally got here, that's not the case at all. I've been doing a lot of online interviews, the new normal, and it's really been keeping me busy.
So how many interviews you did so far?
A lot. I've done so many. Some days it's as much as 4-5 interviews per day.
Wow.
And it depends.
Okay.
It really depends on the day. I think I might have done maybe 15, 20 so far, but I really enjoy them. And I feel like because I am in here alone, it gives me joy to really go online and speak to people.
Okay, before we go through anything else, I want to ask you a little bit about your introductory video in the Miss Universe stage. There was a picture, you do so many things. One of them were you on the NSP board paddling in the ocean. Do you know that NSP board is actually manufactured in Thailand?
The board that I was paddling in.
Yeah.
No, I did not know.
Yeah, it's actually it's perfect. It's manufactured in Thailand, and most people didn't know that.
Oh yes, that's perfect. I did not know that. Well, you learn something new every day.
Okay, talking about learn something new. Thailand. The Miss Universe must have been one of the biggest tasks in your life. There must be something that you learn or discover about yourself during the whole process. Can you share with us what is the new thing that you discover about yourself?
One of the new things that I discover about myself, I guess, is that never to let your self-doubt get in your way. I've always been someone that's always filled with self-doubt growing up. I'm always doubting myself. Oh, you can't do this. That might be too hard. Oh, don't put yourself at risk. You might fail. And with the Miss Universe competition, I felt like I put myself out of my comfort zone. I mean, I went for it. And that's not something that I would do back in my teenage year. So I put myself out there and not really caring about the consequences of all the backlashes or even if I fail. I just thought, you know what, this is once in a lifetime opportunity. Let's just go for it, and really gave it my all. And I don't regret that at all, because even though I didn't come back with the 3rd crown, when I look back at Miss Universe, I don't feel regret. I felt like I did everything that I could. If I could go back in time and change anything, I don't think I would, because I truly gave it my all. So, people say, if you could go back and change one thing, would you have walked better? Would you have answered anything better? And I said, that's just my journey. And with my performance on stage and everything that I did during the competition, I truly gave it my all. I'm like, you know what? There's nothing to lose here. So that's something I learned to, if I want to do something, go for it. Don't be scared, because Yeah, because failure is just a part of your journey. It's what makes you learn, and that's the thing that's gonna give you success in the future.
And you really did give your all during the competition. So what were the best moments of the competition?
You know, I'm just getting goosebumps now thinking about it. I think it's the backstage moment. You know, when you go into a competition, you think, oh, there are, you know, this year 74 girls, everyone's competing, there must be so much tension. But when I got there, that wasn't the case at all. And with the situation, COVID situation going around, every girl was just so grateful to be there. I talked to many girls and they said, you know, Amanda, I didn't think that we would even be here. Like, this is so cool to get to meet all of the different girls and the backstage. So during the competition, the preliminary and the final, each girl, you know, we get a little nervous, we get excited, but we get nervous too, hearing the crowd cheering. We're like, oh my God, this is the moment. And before each of us walk up, all of the other girls backstage are clapping, cheering, you know, like, oh my God, you can do it. You look beautiful. Go get them. Come on, let's go. And that is a moment that I think I will treasure forever. Seeing all these beautiful women empowering each other and, you know, just really uplifting each other. And it's really a beautiful sight to see.
There must be a lot of a conversation going on about many things happen in different countries because it's like a melting pot there, like politics, COVID-19, economy of each countries. Was there a lot of that, I expect? And what do you think about people expressing their political opinion using this platform out to the public? Besides just talk about it behind a stage?
I think everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And I feel like if you have that platform and you want to use it, you must use it. Why not? I think that when, you know, one of the conversations that I have along with the girls is how's COVID situation in your country? That's already very political. You know, it's in our everyday life. We can't say, oh, you cannot talk about politics. Every day is politics, no matter what. It's just, it's in our life. So it's so normal. I just want to normalize it because it is the freedom of speech, first of all, basic human rights. And we need to really understand that. And, you know, there was even an impact award that Miss Bolivia, Lenka, won because she advocated for food security in her country, Bolivia. And one person that I really admire was Miss Myanmar. She used that platform to speak about the situation that was happening in her country. And it takes strength and courage to do that. And we need to normalize it. That's my opinion. It's normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there was one question that was given to the top 5 finalists. And I remember it was Miss India, right, that got the question whether they should lock down or open the borders. If you had to answer that question, what would it be?
If I had to lock down or open the border, first of all, I would lock the country down as soon as possible. I know that there are many debates about the economy situation in each country. But one of the things I would have to say is lock the country down and take the health of the people as the most important thing, an important situation, and make sure that the people in your country are safe. Because without them, let me tell you that without them, the economy cannot grow and move in a forward direction if there's no one alive in your country. And I think that's the sort of the way that I would answer the question. Lock the country down, open it as soon as possible, because without people, nothing can grow.
So talking about traveling, lockdown, open or close the country during the pandemic, Phuket is your hometown and it's getting ready to welcome back tourists in that town. They have the project called Sandbox that they will open to vaccinated tourists without quarantine on July 1st. What is your opinion on that? Do you think Phuket is ready for that, or do you think they should wait and see a little more?
Is Phuket ready for that? Well, what I have to say is before going into the competition, I had the opportunity to go back to Phuket to see my family before I leave. And it was a very sad sight to see. I grew up on Patong Beach, one of the most touristic beaches on the island. And it was almost a ghost town. People are struggling to even get food, to find money for food. So I think that because Phuket is an island that relies so much on the tourist industry, I think that it is time for them to open up. They are trying really hard. They've been struggling for years. And I have friends that, have hotels or have a massage parlor, and they're saying that they've struggled so much. They are struggling to find income to pay their workers. And I think that 70% of Phuket people have been vaccinated. I think that is a very high number, and I'm very hopeful for them. I'm very hopeful for Phuket and for the tourist industry. And I'm sure that, the pandemic, all the world are really struggling with it. I'm sure that they're going to have rules and regulations there in place to make sure that they handle the whole situation as best as possible.
Now let's talk about your big campaign. Have you listened? What's next for Have You Listened right now? Do you have a big activities, a big project, or something about it coming up soon?
Well, with my Have You Listened campaign, I've done 2 workshops, and it is a campaign that advocates for mental health and raise awareness on the importance of listening, because being someone that had experience with mental health issues myself, for the future, I see it growing, and the ultimate goal is to erase all stigmatization that surrounds mental health, because we have to say that in Thailand, that's still a very big issue. We still call someone with mental health issues crazy, and that's something that I want to get rid of. I want people to realize and see that no, they are just sick. They are just patients, and they really need our help. And to really listen to one another, because we never know who might be asking for help. To listen to one another as human being, with empathy, with compassion, and listen with your heart. And for the future, I see myself working with many foundations and really building my Have You Listened campaign, because I am someone that really enjoys working with others and raise awareness.
And recently you also talk to the homeless people who have mental health issues as well. So what have you learned from that experience?
Yes, I worked with the Mirror Foundation, where they help mental health patients and mental health homeless people get out of the homeless situation and into a hospital. And one thing that I learned from that is it was really sad, just thinking because I saw 3 people on the streets. So the first one was the hardest on me, because I didn't know what situation I was, going to see, what type of person he was going to be. But when I got there, I thought, no human being should ever live under these conditions. And why has it taken over 10 years for someone to finally see him, to finally listen to him, and see him as a human being who's asking for help? And I think that's a very important question to be asked as individuals, that we live in this society. There's so many more of these patients out on the street, and why are we not seeing them? That's something I learned, is to look out for one another, listen to one another, and you must not forget that they are human beings at the end of the day, and they need your help. So please just call someone, call the police, call someone that can really help them.
Amanda, I have to ask you this next question. I know you seem like you were born for this beauty pageant. You were born for being a beauty queen. I'm seriously complimenting you on that. But if it's not for a beauty pageant or entertainment business, what would be something you have passion for? What would be something you want to do?
Well, in university, I did business administration and economics. So I think I would have to use that degree, put that degree into good use, because my parents paid a lot of money for it. So I would go into business industry. And I do actually have my own small business selling bucket hats. And that's something that I'm really passionate about, you know, being able to start something small and seeing it grow. It really gave me the passion and the drive to, you know, like really go for it, especially now that we are living in the online world. I think that's something that I would really want to tap into and learn more about the online business industry and ways to really grow it.
And I'm pretty sure that many of your fans are wondering, will we ever get to see you in TV series or in movies like what your friends did before?
I do not know, but I am open for it. Now, I'm still stuck in quarantine, so I'm not able to speak to anyone about anything, you know, explore different options that I may have for the future. But I am open and I'm very hopeful to see what door will be open. So we'll just have to wait and see. Just give me a couple of days until I'm out to be able to talk about it.
Okay. And one last question. What would you like to say to all of your fans and supporters who are watching you right now?
Oh my gosh, the biggest thank you. Who would have thought, you know? Now, especially now that I have over 1 million followers on Instagram, let me tell you, before going into the competition, I did not think this was gonna happen. It was a total shock to me, but I'm so thankful for you all, for all the love and support. My heart is full with gratitude and appreciation. There's just nothing that I could say more than this. Just thank you. Thank you for giving me the love and support, because I did feel it during the competition, before the competition, and after. And it gave me the motivation to really better myself and do my best and give it my all. So thank you.
Well, that's great to hear. It sounds very positive, and that's very nice to hear. I'm sure your family will be so happy to hear that you really recognize the energy that's sent to you too. Well, Amanda, thank you very much for your time. I know you are very busy. You did so many interviews and probably many, many more. Thank you very much. And we looking forward to see any work from you in the future.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you. Bye.
Even though her way of being so outspoken about politics and everything might make some people feel that it's out of ordinary, but like she said, she wants to normalize the political conversation. She wants to make it people feel like it's normal to talk about it. And that's all the news we have in this edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. You can follow us on our website, www.thaipbsworld.com, for any other kind of news, include the exclusive interview with Amanda, which will have it in article up in the website very soon. We have economic news, we have sports, we have COVID-19, we have politics and everything. Just check it out. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
And that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ